everyone, welcome to Connected by Games.
Today we're going to be showing you how to play Codenames. The premise of this game is that there's two spy masters, and their goal is to relay information to their teammates so that they can find all the secret clues. But be careful, you don't want to guess the assassin because that'll give away your position and you automatically lose the game.
To set up the game, the first thing you're going to want to do is take out 25 of these cards and put them in a 5x5 grid.
Then you want to divide up into two teams, having one team of blue and one team of red. So I'll be blue in this game, Kelly will be red.
Alright, and then the last thing is you're going to want to take out this little piece and one of these key cards and then just put it into the slot.
Yep, and then there's a couple of cards you can just set on the side, assassin, bystander, and we'll talk about this card in a little bit.
Once you're all set up, you're going to take your key here and then you're going to look at the border. So whatever color the border is, that's going to be the first team that goes first. So in this case, it is red. So that means since I am red, I would be the first player. And then I take this extra card right here. So it's blue on one side, red on the other. So obviously I'm going to take the red side and I just add it to my pile because I will have an extra clue because I am the person giving clues first.
Yeah, and when you're giving clues, you're looking at the key and you're seeing, you're trying to give clues so that your teammates can guess the red cards or the blue cards depending on what team you're on. But you'll also see tan squares as well. And for the tan squares, those are the bystanders. And that's the cards that don't really do anything. They're kind of neutral. But when you guess those cards, nothing bad happens. You just end your turn. But there is the one black X, which is the assassin card. And if your team guesses that assassin card, you automatically lose the game.
So on a player turn, the first thing that's going to happen is that the spy master, which is me, I'm going to go first here because remember red went first. So I'm going to look at my squares here, I'm looking at the red ones, and I'm trying to figure out a connection between some of my words by using only one word. So I see a connection between two of them right now. So I'm going to say vacation for 2. That means that for 2 of these 25 cards, I am associating 2 cards with vacation. So then my team would go ahead and try to guess those ones here. So let's just say that I'm going to be my other team and I'm going to say trip. And I'm going to tap it because there's been a lot of issues in the past if we're having a conversation and someone says it and the spy master might just try to go ahead and put it on there. So go ahead when you're guessing it, just tap it so that the spy master knows that you are going to be for sure guessing that one. So trip was one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of these red cards on trip and then my team will get another guess. Maybe they'll guess it, maybe they won't.
The other card would be Mexico,
Yeah.
right? So we tap Mexico, put it on there. So your team has guesses up to the number that the spy master says. So Kelly said 2 or 1 extra. So you technically have 3 guesses. At the beginning of the game, it doesn't really make sense to make those extra guesses because you could be guessing your opponent's clues or you could accidentally guess the assassin, which would be really bad. Also, if you guess and you guess wrong, so if you guess your opponent's card or a bystander, then the turn is automatically over. You don't get any more guesses.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, you can always give a clue for 0. This is kind of a tricky clue. For example, I could look at the board right here, and then I could say sirens for 0. And what that means is none of my words associate with sirens. So you could be looking at like police, ambulance, fighter for like firefighter. None of those are my words because I said sirens for 0. And the trick with that one is when you give a clue for 0, you can have as many guesses as you want. So you want to use this as like a last-ditch effort when there's not a lot of cards in there, you're falling behind, you need more guesses. You can always give a clue for 0 so you can have as many guesses as you want. So when giving clues, there's a couple of rules that you have to follow. there's a couple things you can do as rules and a couple things you can't do. This comes down to house rules as well. Feel free to come up with some rules that you want to play with, but they do give some clues or some rules in the rule book saying what you can and can't do. The first thing is you can't say what's already on the board. So if we look at the board right here, I can't say the word pass because it's on the board. I can't use that in a clue. But you can't use like homonyms, the words that sound alike as well. So for example, on the board here, you can see the word night. I can't say the word night even if I mean N-I-G-H-T, like the dark, right? I can't say night because a different type of night is on the board. So you can't say words that sound alike to things on the board, or you can't say words that already are on the board as well. Other things you can't do is you can't make facial expressions, so you can't be like, or you can't be like, or yeah, right? You can't like
facial expressions.
Yeah, I know, right? You can't give away what your words are gonna be because that's unfair because you're almost giving an extra clue.
Or even if someone's like, oh, is it this one or this one, and then your face is like changing, like for wherever they're going, and this causes a lot of like unnecessary what is it, like not rudeness, like tenseness, because then it's like, well, did they really know it, or they were just looking at their facial expressions?
Something that people have done that we play with is like they put their head down after they give the clue, or they cover their face or something like that, just so that you can't give anything away.
Yeah.
Right. And then other things you can't do is you can't say a letter that a lot of your words start with. For example, I couldn't say, I didn't look at this beforehand. I couldn't say A for 2 if my two words were agent and ambulance, right? Because those are starting letters. We can't give those clues as well.
Yeah, but then there are a couple things that you can do. So, like, I could think of a rhyme here. So if I looked and I was like, mop for 1, and the thing is though, you can't say it rhymes with mop. Like, you'd have to just say mop for 1 and hope that your teammate knows that you're rhyming. So they might say, if there was like a cleaning one on here, maybe they'd write that. I just quickly looked and I saw shop, and that's what I was rhyming it with. So then maybe you would get it. But that one I personally don't use very often, or ever, just because I get too worried that it's going to relate to something else. So, I don't know. I personally don't really use it that much. And you can't...
Proper nouns.
Yeah, proper nouns. Oh, you can. Sorry. You can say proper nouns here. So, if there was, like, Harry Potter or something to do with the Statue of Liberty, you can say proper nouns there, but even though there are more than one words.
So that's how you play Codenames. For our next video, we're going to be doing a playthrough, but there's only 2 of us here, so we're going to do a 2-player variation of it. They do have one of these, so we're just going to be playing with two players.
Yeah, and we've never done it, so it'll be a first. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we are Connected by Games.